Hey guys, welcome back to It's Now or Never. I'm your host, Alex Willard, and today is season 2, episode 10, Success Without Apology. So, this episode, I really wanted to dedicate an episode for all of the things I have learned this year in my educational journey. I've gone to a lot of different seminars. I've listened to a lot of different amazing speakers, and I recently went to a conference called the Be Bold Conference in Tulsa. And I have all of this information that I feel like really goes together in the realm of self-development, professional development. And so I wanted to wait till everything was almost over. I still have a couple more weeks with this program I'm in, but I wanted to dedicate an episode for all of this information because I feel like everything kind of connects together and it flows. And I feel like it's some really, really awesome stuff that I've been able to learn that I want to share with you guys. I've been taking notes throughout the past year, and I actually have set them up all on my iPad, so that is what I'm reading off of. If you guys wonder, don't worry, I'm not reading off a script. I just jot a few notes down. But I want to touch on, before we get into this episode, I do want to touch on last week. So last Friday, I released an episode instead of Wednesday, and I released an episode on Einon's birthday. So Einon is officially 1 year old, and I am so excited about that. I think this has been such an amazing journey so far. I'm so excited to see where everything's gonna go, and I'm so grateful for you guys as my listeners. You guys are the reason why I am where I'm at and why I continue to grow, why Einon continues to grow, and the reason why I am able to share my message every week with all of you guys. So thank you so much for sticking along, and let's just get straight into this episode, okay? So I want to start with, it's super cliche, and disclaimer, honestly, there's a few different things I'm going to say today that sound super cliche, but they all have a reason behind them, and they all have a lot of depth to them. So just let me explain things as we go. Don't just listen to something I say and roll your eyes. Oh my God, I've heard that a million times. Okay. So success without apology. We're going to start off with just reminding yourself it's okay if somebody doesn't like you. I think this is one of the biggest things that people have to overcome in their adulthood and transitioning into the real world and the workforce and whatever, especially if you struggle with people pleasing, which is something that I do. I had to learn how to be okay with people not liking me as a person, people not liking what I did, whether that's jealousy, whether that's out of hate, whatever. There's going to be people that don't like you, and you're going to have to learn to accept that and to move on from those different things. Okay. And the other thing is some people don't like other people because they make them uncomfortable. And maybe that's not a bad thing, that they make them uncomfortable because they're encroaching on their abilities. Because, maybe somebody comes in and they're better than you, so they don't like them. I envy people all the time, and I will hate somebody because I think that they're better than me at something, which everything I'm about to say goes completely against that, goes completely against those feelings of envy and hatred towards other people just because they're good at something that you're not. And also, I always talk about, being yourself and going down this path for you and not doing what other people do and not envying other people and wanting what they have and going after what they have. And so designing your life to be so that, you go down this path so you can have everything else that everyone around you already has. Why do we want to be clones of each other, right? I don't want to remind you of anybody else. I don't want somebody to come to me and say, you remind me of somebody I know. I don't want that. That is an insult to me. I want to be different. I want to change the game on things. I want to start the conversation on things. I am different. I'm not like anybody else because I have created who I am, and I am original, and I'm concrete in myself and my truth. And so you should want to be not like anyone else, and you should want to be original. You should want to be bold, okay? And so what's the meaning of bold? it's working through failure. It's being able to accept failure and see it as an opportunity of growth, okay? We fail at something every single day. And you will have small failures, you will have big failures. You have failures that will set you back weeks, that will damage your mental health, that'll cause burnout. You will have failures. It's no matter where you are in your career or your life, you will fail at something. And you have to, I think the key in a successful person is somebody that can take that and twist it into how can I grow from this? How can I learn from this? Okay, where did I fail? Why did I fail? And what can I do differently next time? And you keep going and going and going until you get it right, until you are successful. And then you move on. And then you fail again. And then you'll figure it out. It is a cycle. But you have to learn how to continue that cycle, not just, get over okay, so I have this idea, whatever, I'm going to do this thing. I fail. Well, back to square one. I mean, I suck at this. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to move cities. I'm going to do whatever. No, realize where it started and where you can fix it. And then acknowledge and embrace your vulnerabilities. It will only make you stronger. Okay? Your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities are not what holds you back. It is yourself. It is the labels you put on yourself. And once you realize what areas you are weak in and you are vulnerable in, then you can realize, okay, if I do not have creativity, but I'm more analytical, I need to make sure to surround myself with somebody that has those other traits, right? The traits that you are weak in, make sure to surround yourself with the traits that they are strong in. Does that make sense? You have to level things out on your teams and in your workplace. And then same with your friendships. Find friends that have the things that you don't have and strengthen the things that you do have, and find the people that lift you up. And then address your underlying fears, okay? In order to be a good leader, you have to have confidence, community, you have to have collaboration. And to have that confidence piece, you have to know your fears. You don't have to completely get over your fears, but you have to know that that's what's holding you back, okay? I'm afraid of heights. I hate heights. I'm so afraid of heights. But I will venture outside of my box to do different things because I want to conquer those fears. And I also know that having that fear of heights is holding me back from so many other things. I hate jumping off cliffs into the water. I hate that. I'm also scared of the water. I'm scared of fish. So I hate swimming in the ocean. I'm missing out on that experience of swimming in the ocean and going snorkeling and scuba diving and whatever because I'm scared of the water. I'm so stupid. But I will go ziplining. I love ziplining. It's so fun, but oh my God, it's so high up. And that's something that I do. Yes, I know that I'm scared of heights, but I also know that fear is something that's holding me back. And what is it? Am I scared of heights or am I scared of falling from them, right? So are you scared of public speaking, or are you scared of people not liking you, or people thinking you're stupid or you're weird or you talk funny? Whatever. Are you scared of public speaking because you struggle at forming sentences and forming your thoughts into words? Do you struggle at self-confidence? Why do you struggle at self-confidence? Does this make sense? Recognizing your weaknesses, recognizing your fears, how to address those, how to become better at those, and where it stems from as well. So being a good leader means confidence, community, and collaboration. This is something that we are going to continue thinking about through this whole episode, and as you move on through other things. Next is apology syndrome, which is huge. I think this also plays into people pleasing, right? I know this is a lot more common in women as well, and this episode definitely will have a lot more facts about women and women in the workforce. But you don't owe anyone an apology, and this goes for men and women, but you've earned your seat at the table. You have to remind yourself that 75% of women have reported that they struggle with imposter syndrome. And you have to remind yourself when you wake up each day that you're worth it and you've earned it. Because again, you're the only person holding you back from things, right? You are your biggest hero, you're your biggest advocate, but you are also you are what can take yourself down the fastest, if that makes sense. You are your biggest vulnerability. You are your biggest weak spot. So you are the one that's going to be there for yourself at the end of the day. You're also the one that can jeopardize yourself the most. And so you have to learn in what positions that you have to forget about those underlying fears and vulnerabilities, and you just have to go for things. And you have to stop being scared and embarrassed and apologizing about things. And I think this also happens a lot as somebody that's young, entering the workforce or in college. I'm a sophomore, and so I'm technically an underclassman. And I struggle a lot with, even applying for internships. I've struggled a lot with getting an internship because of the fact that I'm a sophomore. Am I underqualified? I don't think so. I think I'm a hard worker. I've taken so many classes. I've had amazing internships already. I've worked amazing jobs. And then going into the workforce, I'm scared that, am I going to be able to work my way up leadership ladders as much as I want to? Are people going to respect me because I'm young, because I'm new, because I'm straight out of college? And sometimes I have to forget that, and I have to just keep pushing forward because I've worked so hard for where I'm at, right? We've all worked so hard. You and the person next to you, you guys both have earned your seat at the table, and you have to remember that. You've earned the place that you are in. Every choice that you make leads you to the position that you are today, position you are tomorrow, and the position you are in 10 years. You have to remember that. Everything you do plays a role into where you will end up. And so we have to realize, how to negotiate with ourselves. Whether, don't sacrifice things that are important for other things. Don't sacrifice things that are important to you for other people. Don't sacrifice your values for a job. But at the same time, you have to know how to negotiate with others and how to negotiate at a job and how to negotiate for higher pay. 63% of women globally will never ask for a raise. That's crazy. Is it the imposter syndrome? Is it the apology syndrome? I don't know. What is it for you? Is this something you struggle with? But is this something that you could see yourself struggling with? And so as the next thing is, I think it's really important to have proper role models around you and proper role models around you and proper mentors, right? To be able to surround yourself with successful people in maybe positions that you want to be in one day, positions that you want your success to lead you to. I think that's really important. And I think people that struggle with growing and struggle with imposter syndrome have a lack of role models, whether that's in their workplace, outside their workplace, whether it's at home, in their family, whatever, growing up. But I think the other reason why we don't want to stand up for ourselves is we don't want to be bossy, right? But at the same time, we don't think about our words to ourselves. Our words hold us back. How you speak to yourself holds you back. And I've talked about this in the past few episodes. Everything is about how you show up, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally. And so when you start your day, you decide how that day is going to go. And throughout that day, you can have something bad happen in the morning and you can still have a good day. Or you can choose to have a shitty day. You can choose to let that affect you. So it's, how are you going to show up? How are you going to show up to yourself? Because you're your biggest hero, you're your biggest advocate, and you are your biggest vulnerability. How can we create success for ourselves our own way? We need to learn how to support and highlight each other and become great role models for others. Once you get into that spot of success, that spot of leadership, that spot where you feel like you can mentor other people, you can be a senior in college, or you can be a senior executive at your company. But you can decide when you feel fit to become a mentor. But throughout the journey, you're always learning new things that you can pass on to other people. We have to learn how to be in a constant state of learning. Education is empowerment. Education opens doors. Education will continue to lead you to the next goal. Education will build you connections. Education will give you empowerment. And that's what you need to realize. Your education is that's like investing in yourself. Going to conferences, that's investing in yourself. Going to the gym, that's investing in yourself. Right? Like buying nice work clothes, investing in yourself. All these things will lead to success one day for you. They will open doors. They will give others a good impression. They will make connections for you. And you have to remember that. And I think people have to start looking at it like that. It's an investment for yourself. Just like you invest in your future financially, you need to invest in your future professionally, right? We need to recognize and stop bashing other people. We need to recognize people for their successes. We need to stop envying people for their successes and for their strengths. We need to lift each other up, and we need to stop having this us versus them mindset and change it to a we. Because, right, like a good leader has collaboration and has community. You are able to rally the people around you. You're able to build the people around you up. I talked in a few episodes ago this season about givers, takers, and matchers. So givers obviously will give to others expecting nothing in return. Takers will take from others and not give. And matchers are kind of a tit for tat. You give me something, I'll give you something. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, right? And so we talk about who is represented the most at the top, who's represented the most at the bottom, right? Who is the most successful, who's the least successful? Starting at the bottom, givers are at the bottom. People that give almost in a sacrificing way, a self-sacrificing way, will end up at the bottom. If you do too much for others and nothing for yourself, you're not going to get yourself anywhere. Yes, people are going to appreciate you, but you're also going to be giving to takers. People that are just taking from you to get their way up the ladder. And at the top are also givers. People that give to others without expecting anything in return. People that build connections for others, introduce people to other people, that help to mentor other people, help to teach, help to whatever. They help other people not expecting something in return. But then when those people that they helped are becoming successful, they will think of the people that helped them. Takers, you would think takers are at the top, right? Takers will take and take and take, but then one day people will realize that they're only in it for themselves, and they will stop becoming successful. They will stop reaching these positions of power in their workplace and their overall professional lives. And so you have to ask yourself, am I a giver? Am I a taker? Am I a matcher? And do I want to change that? So that community aspect is very, very important. But there's wisdom amongst wise counsel is a quote that I've heard in the past couple weeks, and it means to surround yourself with wise leaders. Surround yourself with others that you look up to. So as daunting of a task this may be, and if you have social anxiety like me, it might be very difficult, but I'm in college, right? And I have some amazing, amazing professors. And it's really hard sometimes when, I don't have my family up here at school, and I'm not really close to anyone in the professional world that I want to go into. And so it's really difficult sometimes, but you have to be able to take that step and ask people to mentor you and ask people for advice and ask people to sit with you and help you on things. And so building that community around you, connecting with people, getting people's contact information, meeting people for coffee, it's so, so, so important. And so last year I was given, I sat in on a lecture in one of my classes, and it talked about, a professor that you admire, ask them to be your mentor. And so I went in to a professor. I hadn't had her as a professor, but she was a professor at the university. I'd met her a few times. I thought she was an amazing woman. She was incredible. The things she had to say, I listened to one of her seminars on professional development, and I had so much respect for this woman. So I emailed her and I said, hey, are you free sometime? When are your office hours? I would love for you to be a mentor for me. I would love to have a quick chat and you give me some advice. And she absolutely loved it. And she's still one of my mentors. I go to her for a lot of things. She's helped me with internships. She's helped me with just building my self-confidence, my professional development. And she is somebody in the professional world that I look up to, and somebody that I know that if I have problems somewhere, I can go to her. And surrounding yourself with a diverse group of people, whether that's a diverse group of backgrounds or careers or whatever. Surrounding yourself with wise people, diverse people, people you look up to, people you respect, people you admire. I think that's really important because those are your mentors, and there's so much power in mentorship and having a mentor. But you need to learn to be open and receptive because you need to be open to opportunity. Now, sometimes you need to learn to say no to opportunity, but sometimes you need to step out of your box and take opportunity that you don't think you would take before. I heard this last year that you need to be open to opportunity. You need to take every opportunity that comes your way. And then I did take every opportunity that came my way, and then I had too much on my calendar and I didn't know what to do with it. So I had to come back a little bit on that. But I think taking opportunities is really important, and stepping out of your comfort zone for different opportunities and different places and different people and different jobs, I think is super, super important because it'll help to, grow that knowledge in your brain and continue to give you education in so many different fields. And you'll meet new people and you'll just become more confident in yourself and your skills and your abilities. You'll become better with people. All these different things. I think being open to opportunity is one of the biggest things that you need to learn how to do when you enter the real world one day. But also, you're always being watched. So you need to remember to act in good character. Whether you are at work and no one's watching, so you're scrolling through Instagram, or you are working extra hours to make sure you finish a project, you are reaching out to coworkers that need help with something that they're doing, or somebody around you, a family member, they're struggling with them, so you reach out, you say, hey, I'm thinking about you and praying for you. Making people feel heard and whatever. All these different things, making sure that you're not talking poorly about people, even if you think it's in the privacy of your own home or you're at a coffee shop with a friend. People always find out about things. And so then when you look to get a job promotion or move jobs and work somewhere else or whatever, people will remember things. And people usually remember the bad things. Just so you know, people usually remember the bad things. And so if someone finds out you were talking crap about them and they're a future employer, well, they're probably not going to hire you. So you need to learn this, and you need to make those around you feel good so that you can help yourself move up, help others move up, make yourself look good. Don't be a good person just to be a good person and make yourself look good, but be a good person because you want to. I hope you're not being a good person with ill intent. But you need to learn to connect with people. I already touched on this, but making connections, it's so, so, so important because, if you get an opportunity that's not good for you, well, maybe you know somebody that is good for. So you're going to refer that opportunity to them. And it's a snowball effect. The more people you know, the more opportunities you gain. I think it's really important. Having a high emotional intelligence, I think, is something that you need not just in your professional aspects of life, but your personal aspects and with yourself as well. You need to be able to know how to read a room. You need to be able to know how you're coming off to people. You need to be able to know how to be there for different people in different times of need. Not everybody's different, or not everybody is the same. And so you need to learn how to treat different people for their different needs in their different times of need as well. And you need to be able to read people. And so I think high emotional intelligence, high social intelligence is very important. And I talk about all those things in a bunch of different episodes on here as well. But those are probably the biggest ones to be successful. And that was a bunch of information. And I know it probably wasn't all in order, and I probably talked in circles about that, but I promise you guys, we are almost done. But how do we establish core support, right? So those mentors, those best friends, those coworkers, those great coworkers, how do we do that? So we need to remember that the number one dedication of a woman's success is her network. It is all about who you know once you get out there in the real world, and you can start doing that in high school, in college, and you can continue that throughout your professional career with whoever you meet. But you also need to learn to write down all of the information that you get, because you might not need it now, but you can always use it later. So this information that I'm giving you, I've been taking this information over the past year. And yes, it's awesome information, but do I need all of this right now? Maybe not. But this is all written down. This is all written down in my notebook, my professional development, mental health, self-help notebook that I have. And whenever I'm in a time of need, when I'm kind of stuck in a different position in my life, or I've hit a bump in the road, I've hit some adversity, what do? I look back and I read these notes. That's so weird of me, nerdy of me, it sounds like, but it's like a journal. It's like a diary for me. And it's kind of like my magic 8-ball. I have this going on. What do? And so I just read, and it kind of eases my mind about different things, and maybe fears that I have about whatever, if I'm applying to an internship, or if I don't know how to ask someone to be a mentor, whatever it may be. Keep note of everything that you're learning. But at the end of the day, if you want to become a young leader, or a leader in whatever space you're in, whatever age you are, you have to learn how to overcome fear and doubt. You do not want to live your whole life and get to the point that you're old and can't walk anymore and have regrets about things that you didn't do. You don't want to have regrets about how you treated people, or how you didn't treat people, things you said to people, or things you didn't say to people, or things that you said to yourself. You do not want to spend your whole life talking down to yourself, because you will not get to where you want to go. You will fail, and you will continue to fail, because unless you're able to see that failure as opportunity, you will continue to fail. So you need to remember to overcome those doubts and fears. Embrace those vulnerabilities of yours. Understand where your fears stem from, and understand your strengths. And, applaud yourself for your strengths. Applaud those around you for their strengths. And stop trying to be like other people. Please. You are good enough as you are. You are worth it. You've earned your seat at the table. And you need to go and get after it. I love you guys so much. This episode was kind of all over the place today, And I know it's kind of disorganized, and I'm sorry, that's how my brain was today. I gave you the best I could give you. So please be grateful. Please be grateful. But also, I know I talk in circles. I know I repeat myself. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Okay. If you guys want to keep up with It's Now or Never on Instagram, you can follow me at inon.pod on Instagram. If you want to follow me on YouTube, it is It's Now or Never Pod on YouTube. And then, drumroll please, last but not least, if you want to submit a question, something that I will read, respond to, a topic you want me to talk about in the next episode, something you need advice on, you can go to alexandriawillard.com/submit a question. There you can fill out that, submit a question, and in one of the next episodes coming up, we will read all the questions, give advice, and have one big fun episode for that. But at the end of the day, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. We've made it past 1 year. I'm so excited. And yeah, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. And I will see you guys next week for episode 11. Bye, guys. Bye.